Hey there, so we're here with Kevin and Kyle, chefs at Wye Hill Kitchen and Brewing in Raleigh, and you might have recognized them from a video a week or two ago about selling to chefs, and we're here today to do a little bit of a cooking demonstration, showcase some of your dishes, using local ingredients, things like that, right?
Yep, so you brought us a few things last week. We were kind of mulling over the idea of what to do for this, so it's a few things we've thought about running on the menu coming up, and really highlight a lot of local ingredients, and especially the Sad Hill Farm stuff.
Awesome. Let's go do that.
Yeah, let's go hop in there.
All right.
So the first thing that we're going to make today is esquites. It's a Mexican street corn salad. We're going to start this off as a side to go with our New York strip that we'll be preparing. So a little tip for cutting corn off of the cob. This is some fresh corn that we shucked today. It came from the farmer's market. As always, it's super sweet, really crisp. Taking a mixing bowl and some other sort of raised piece. You can use a smaller version of a nesting mixing bowl. If you happen to have pint containers, they work great. We'll place that in the bottom and then hold our corn with our fingers at the top and just kind of slice down the side of the cob. And what this will allow us to do is catch all of that corn. So instead of doing it on a cutting board where it's going to go everywhere, it'll all drop right into the bowl. Pan going pretty hot right now. What we're basically going to do is try to char the corn on all sides. Bring out a little bit more depth of flavor and a little bit more softness out of it. So we've been rocking on pretty high heat this entire time. We're going to go ahead and dial that back a little bit just to let that kind of sit and ride for a minute. And we're going to pop over here and make our aioli as the binder for our esquites. So here we have just a general food processor. Ours is a little bit larger than some of the ones that you might have at home. We have some of Josh's farm pasture-raised eggs. We're going to take 3 of these with the whole egg right into the food processor. And we are just going to let those process for a second. Your eggs are blending. We're going to take 3 cloves of garlic. Drop those in as well. And we're going to let all that puree and aerate, and as that air gets into the egg yolk, it's going to help our aioli be a lot lighter and fluffier. So now that we have our eggs going, we have our garlic, we're going to take a pinch of salt. Here we have some hot smoked paprika. We'll do a pretty liberal pinch of that as well. 4 cups of oil. What we're going to do is stream this in through the top opening very slowly, and it's going to allow that oil to emulsify with the eggs and make our aioli. As tempting as it may be to go faster, control yourself. Just allow it to go in slowly. As we add the oil, our emulsification will become thicker. And it'll be the perfect dressing for our esquites. I'm going to take a lime, just cut it in half real easily. We'll come back to our food processor and juice about half of a lime into there. It's going to bring out some acidity that we'll bolster later. And you'll see we've created a nice thick and aerated smoked paprika aioli. And this is going to be the perfect dressing. Here we have our corn. We've taken it out of the pan. We set it on a little bit of a sheet tray to cool. It's been cooling for about 15 minutes now. What we're going to do is we're going to add the corn to our mixing bowl here. So we have our corn. We're going to take some brunoise, which just means a very fine dice red onion. And a little bit of that. And this can kind of all be to your taste. If you like a lot of onion, feel free to go heavier with it, go lighter. We have a little bit of brunoise jalapeno, which we're going to go kind of light on that, but again, all to your own taste. And then we have some heirloom tomatoes, again from the North Carolina State Farmers Market. We have that beautiful rainbow of colors in there. Dark red and greens from some of those Cherokees, the bright yellow of the crisp corn, and white and purple from the red onion, of course. So now we have a good mix on it. We're going to take some of our paprika aioli, and we'll start with just a little spoonful and gently fold that in. Finish this with just a little bit of lime. And these will be our esquites to go with our New York strip.
Cool, so here we have a 10-ounce portion of sirloin steak, and we're gonna season pretty liberally with salt. We're always gonna shake salt from up top. We always season high, so you got a nice even coverage on everything you do. We'll hit it with some black pepper. Nice fresh cracked. And then here we like to hit it with a little smoked paprika. It'll caramelize nicely in the pan. It'll create a really nice sear on your steak without burning it. So again, we're seasoning up high with our salt. Season both sides of your steak. Our steak's been out resting for about a minute or two just to bring it up to room temp, so when we cook a steak to medium rare, we're not getting a cold center. We're getting a nice warm hot center. So we'll come over here now. We got our pan. It's just about hot. And just like anything, we're always going to wait for our oil to heat up before we put our food in it. Make sure you got the bottom of it covered up. Again, we're looking for bubbles and just the slightest amount of smoke coming from your oil and your pan to let you know that you're ready to drop that bad boy in there. And you can see you're starting to get the bubbling around the corners. The oil's starting to move a lot more like water. It's starting to heat up nicely. I'm just making sure the bottom of my pan is nicely coated, and there you see the smoking point.
What kind of oil are you using?
That's a blend, canola blend. You know, we try and use a blend of oils that'll resist high heat. You know, we can't really cook in the kitchen here with olive oils or anything like that. Those are more finishing oils for us, or anything that we're making with that's going to be cold, because we'll end up burning the oil, therefore burning the product, and you're going to have this weird taste of tannins in your mouth, wondering what it is. And a lot of the times it's that burnt oil. That's why a lot of people in kitchens will flare up their food, and you'll have chef yell at you, and they wonder why, and it's because you're burning oil. It might look cool, but it doesn't taste cool. For all those people who are wondering what these tweezers were for last time. We're gonna go for a nice sear, both sides. Probably bring this bad boy up about medium rare. We're gonna lower the heat on this just a little bit. We're gonna throw in some butter. We'd smashed some garlic cloves earlier. We'll go ahead and throw those in. And then some fresh rosemary and thyme for aromatics. That going. Move our steak back. We'll let all that get some nice flavor. Start letting our butter melt. Add another knob in there for flavor. Right up here. Up our steak. Now what we're doing is we're basting our steak. All these flavors of the herbs, of the garlic, of the butter are now infusing the steak with it. And as I'm doing it, I'm also creating a much tighter crust around it. As you can see, it come up, and you see the bubbling occurring on top of the steak. What that's doing is actually cooking that outside part. You'll see, I'll flip my steak this way. You'll see the nice crust we have there. finish that up. And like any good steak, after cooking, you want to properly rest it. Pull the rest of our herbs over.
So why do you rest the steak after you cook it?
Because basically what you're doing with a steak, you're searing it so that you can get two nice crispy flavors and sear all the flavor inside of it. So when a steak is resting, all the juices inside of them are boiling up. So you need to rest this steak so the juices inside can relax, so when you slice into this bad boy, you don't have a cutting board full of all the delicious juices that you just tried to infuse your steak with. So now when we let this rest here, you'll see when we cut it, there'll be minimal to no blood or juice or anything on the cutting board. It'll just be all locked into this bad boy right there.
Actually making a smoked sweet potato vinaigrette to go for our chicory and mixed green salad. Be a nice little starter for our strip steak. In here we took some cherry wood chips, again in one of those French steel or carbon steel pans. We got them nice and charred without catching them on fire, again to stay away from that acrid and bitter taste. And then we took some peeled and roasted sweet potatoes and put them into a perforated pan over top, wrapped the entire thing and allowed them to take on a lot of that smoke. And what we're doing in that is making a smoked sweet potato vinaigrette. So we've taken that roasted and smoked sweet potato, we've added a little bit of ahi mirin, which is a rice cooking wine, and some rice vinegar. These are going to be a little bit lighter options than a traditional white vinegar or champagne vinegar, and allow kind of a little bit more delicateness in the dressing. So we blended that up. We got that going nice and high. And again, we will stream in our oil. And that'll leave us with a nice looser emulsified smoked sweet potato dressing. It'll go really nicely with the nice spicy chicory. Alright, now for any good dinner, we want to start with a little something light, get the appetite going, and kind of get us in the mood to eat a good meal. Right here we have some beautiful chicory from Satin Hill Farms, of course. This is going to have a really nice complex flavor. It's got a little bit of heat like a mustard green would, a little bit of pepperiness kind of like a arugula would, and then a little bit of bitterness that an endive or that traditional family would have. So we're going to take a little bit of our greens here. We'll bulk that out just a touch. It's always important to season your greens. People don't think about putting salt on a salad, but there's a reason why the McDonald's salad has more salt in their fries. Try to make the greens taste good. It's also going to draw out some of that water and make it a little bit more tender. So now we're going to take that awesome smoked sweet potato vinaigrette that we made. We'll drizzle that right over top. And we'll just start to fold that in so that it covers everything nicely. You want your salad to be dressed but not soggy wet. So here we have a nice little mix. It's all tossed together nicely. We have some sweet potatoes that we kind of cut into little pinwheels. We'll add those, add a little bit of texture and a little bit more sustenance to this. Again, just folding it in lightly. We will slowly take our salad. You don't want to squeeze, but we're just kind of cupping and helping it form itself. I'm going to go right onto our plate here. Since all that potato as we were mixing kind of fell towards the bottom, we have it nice and accessible on top. Really make that salad pop. Here we have a little bit of fennel, and we took and sliced on the mandolin to kind of give this awesome tentacle type shape. We'll hit that again with a little bit of that dressing just to make it all cohesive. We can take those. This will add a little bit of texture and crunch to our salad. And last but not least, we're just going to finish it off with a little bit of goat cheese. This is from Goat Lady Dairy. Wonderful, creamy, fatty, just overall nice neutral goat cheese to use here. There we have it, smoked sweet potato vinaigrette
we've let our steak rest approximately about half the time it took to cook. So depending on whether you want medium rare, medium, well done, that's, you know, it takes you 10 minutes, you let it rest for about 5. So you can see we got a nice crust on the top. We're just gonna take our steak and cut at a bias.
Bias is another word for slant.
Slant true, yes. And we got our steak right there.
Dude, what is up with that knife? That thing is crazy.
So this is a custom-made knife from Duncan over at Horn and Heel. He's a NC State graduate for Metalworks, and now he provides chefs in North Carolina and Raleigh and all over the world with some of the most badass knives you can find.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So this is.
Can you buy that online?
You can. You can find him at hornandheel.com. That's also his Instagram. And yeah, customs and just you know, everyday knives for people at home to use.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
What do you got going on over here?
So I've just been assembling the rest of the plate while Kevin's been slicing up that nice piece of meat here. So what we're going to do is we have a nice little swoop of our aioli, and then we have our bed of esquites. It's perfectly cooked medium rare steak. I'm just going to come underneath it like this, come up and over, plate like so. Fan that out so you can see all that beautiful mid-rareness. We're going to finish with a little chiffonade of green sorrel. It's going to add a lot of nice acidity to it.
Is it from our farm?
It is from Satin Hill Farm. We'll take a little avocado. Our finishing touch, a little bit of smoked sea salt. Some of Josh's pea shoots, add a nice little textural element. Really help make the dish pop.
You guys seems like you use a lot of ingredients in your cooking.
Yeah. We definitely try to. I mean, Kyle knows more than anybody. He's in charge of making all our inventory lists, how big that list can get at the end of the month, all the different stuff we're getting.
Is that a background in how you guys were like brought up, or how you
Kind of.
learned how
I mean,
to cook?
Kevin's got great Puerto Rican heritage and cooking with grandma and all of the ingredients and flavors that come from that. I grew up with my mom cooking every night at home, so we kind of took influences from that, and then we've also been able to work under an eclectic range of amazing chefs, from seafood-based to French chefs, Asian chefs, Italian, and then just also American. And picking up little things from each one of them that we didn't have before.
You asked if is this a new style of cooking, and I'm like, yes, no, or is it just it's just maybe like you don't have to be a Mexican restaurant anymore or an Italian restaurant. You can be whatever you want. So it's hard to just tell people when they ask me on an Uber like, oh, where do you work? What kind of restaurant is that? I'm like, a little bit of everything. I kind of give them that spiel. I'm like, you take a Puerto Rican and a white dude that cook a lot of different food already and put them together and give them a big ass spot with a lot of opportunities, and you get what you get.
Things like New York strip and esquites.
All right, so we got our dishes all done, guys. This looks amazing. Are these are dishes you guys are probably going to put on the menu soon, or?
Yeah, so we're thinking about it. I know the esquites will make it on in some form or another over the next couple weeks while we can capitalize on that end of summer corn season. A strip in some form will be on all the time. And then as we start ramping up, if Josh starts ramping up production on this chicory, we'll be throwing this one on as well. So these are things that you'll be seeing in one form or the other very soon.
I really wanted to showcase some of the restaurants that I work with and how they use a lot of local ingredients, and just really showcase the freshness and the beauty of some of this food. And so we're gonna eat this now, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thanks so much for watching, and
Thank you.
we'll see you in the next one.
All right, so we got the brewers here giving this taste test. What do you guys think?
I love that chicory. That is something I've never eaten on its own before. That is really cool. His smoked aioli, smoked potato. What is it? Sweet potato aioli. That is so delicious.
Great on that corn.
And I've actually had steak with a corn sauce before. That's kind of an Indian thing to do also. They put their own little spin on it, but it is delicious. It is really good stuff.